Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're crushing morning miles or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
It started with their cashmere, but now I go to Quince for everything. It is my first stop when looking for wardrobe essentials, but also gorgeous home accessories, bedding, linens, and now candles. I just lit up the neroli and yuzu candle from Quince. I also purchased the bergamot basil. I cannot resist bergamot. They have so many fabulous fragrances, and at only $24 per candle, it is such a savings over other luxury brand candles. There's a 50-hour burn. They're poured by hand in the USA. Soy, coconut wax, everything you could want in a luxury candle, but without the luxury price. Quince has absolutely everything you need to elevate your space and your wardrobe. And the best part, like Quince's clothing, their home goods are half the cost of similar brands. Quince partners directly with artisans, thereby cutting out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. Make your space feel like you with elevated home essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT.
It's your favorite part of the podcast, and today we're going all in. Today, we're talking summer crushes you are going to love. And this is truly the most favorite part of the podcast, everyone tells us. And we're so excited to do a whole episode on stuff that we are just in love with right now.
I know recently we got a lot of either emails or even reviews, including the fact that people are crushing on the crushes. So it is fun to hear something new and something that has been vetted by people you trust. So I love that. I was just on an epic girls' weekend. I came home and immediately purchased several items that people in my group were either wearing or swearing was the best thing ever. So I have got some new things coming to me. These fabulous pants from Anthro that I might share in another crush. I had already prepped for those, so I didn't even have room to include those. But it is so fun to get together with your good, trusted friends and share stuff that you love. And that's what we're going to do today. And we think you guys are going to love this format because, as Anita mentioned, everybody loves the crush. So we might do it seasonally. So let us know. What's your first one?
Well, all of mine are decor. Are all of yours decor?
I kind of went off-road. I did. I have home, of course, home decor. I have a garden. I have a book. And I may or may not have some things you could wear.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's good to know for next time.
Well, let's see what everybody thinks, right?
Okay.
I don't know. If they're going to not want that, we won't do that anymore. But these things were just too good not to share.
On to my first one, and we've been talking about it. I think we both love this one. Pookie lighting. And I actually now have 3 Pookie lights. They are a UK-based company, but they are now available in the US. And they're known for their cordless lighting, but they also have corded lamps as well. And I have 2 corded lamps, and I have the cordless lamp, and I'm getting ready to get another cordless. They're not the cheapest on the market, but they are quality, and you will know the difference when you see them. They are gorgeous. In fact, I ordered 2 Pookie pendant lights for my house that I'm so excited about getting put in over the table.
Pendants. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't even know they had that. So that is great. We love that brand, and now we even have more to love about it.
They're known for their beautiful, beautiful lampshades. So what I did was I bought these 2 matching lamps, and they're very small, so they weren't that expensive. And I bought several of the clip-on lampshades that Pookie makes to go with them. And so I can change them out with my mood.
Okay, I'm going to kick off with something I have really never seen before. I saw this item in, I think it was House and Garden UK, which is a magazine I absolutely love. And I thought, oh, I really want that. And I just Googled it because, we're Google masters. And I thought, oh, it's going to be some really expensive. It's probably not going to exist in sort of a stock item. But lo and behold, on Etsy, I found it. It is a wicker scalloped valance.
Ooh.
Oh. Now, it would be good all year round, but for the summer, or if you're blessed enough to have a summer house somewhere warm, or if you have a sun room or a sun porch, but I think you could use this any place from, Alaska to Hawaii, any time of year, because it is so beautiful and it adds that texture we just talked about. And on this Etsy site, all of this will be linked in the show notes, please check them out. Wicker scalloped valance by this Etsy maker. And it comes in, or also called a pelmet, or pelmet? How do you pronounce it?
Pelmet. I think it's a pelmet.
Pelmet like a helmet? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it doesn't have the extra E that I added. So Pelmet. Gorgeous. And you can get it at any length that you want. I believe you could even customize the width.
Wow.
Maybe not the depth. So don't quote me on the depth, but go check it out on Etsy. I am definitely going to order these for my kitchen. When I found them, I didn't have time to do all my measuring because I was going to this epic girls trip and I had to pack. I think it would be a great addition to any window that you've got window treatments on already. Obviously side drapery is not something on top of it. You could possibly put a curtain, or would be better with a flat shade under it. I wouldn't do anything sort of extra floofy with extra fabric. That would not work with it. But if you had drapery panels hanging to the side, or if you had a very simple shade fabric, or even a plain old white roller, you could do that. Or what I'm going to do in my kitchen is just use that, because the reason I don't have treatments in my kitchen is because I am never going to put them down, and I didn't want to pay to have them put up there. It needs some sort of eyebrow, and this is going to be the eyebrow it needs. At one point, I had some white linen curtains, but they just kind of got in the way, and if I was going to do the top-down, bottom-up window treatments, then you've got all those cords. I didn't want all that. And like I said, I'm not going to really move them. This is going to be the perfect thing. So I could keep talking about this for another 30 minutes, so I will stop. So you can go on to your next one.
Okay. Tissue box covers. I have several listed here, but I also have a specific one that I want to talk about. I've been trying to cover up those ugly tissue boxes. I don't know why the tissue boxes come in such ugly packaging, but they just do. And so they must be covered. And there's so many different ways to do it. I have found so many beautiful ones. For example, I have some paper mache decoupage covers that I got on Etsy. You can search there for those. I just recently bought a rattan one on Amazon for a box that looks very nice. We used to carry some monogram fabric ones, but you can buy those on Etsy as well. And I have found a new one that I think is a really cool design. They're kind of pricey now, but I think if these catch on, they're going to go down in price significantly, because some of these are up to $100, believe it or not. But it's basically a chinoiserie kind of, I guess you'd call it a vase or an urn, but the top comes off. And so you take your tissues and put them in the bottom. And when you pull out one, it kind of connects to the next one. The top part is separate, so you can kind of feed that up. So they're very interesting. I've seen them on Amazon and other places. I'll include a link to one I found that was really pretty and a little bit less than $100, but a pretty cool thing and very pretty.
Okay, sink skirts. Now, this is not going to work for absolutely everyone. But if you've got a sink that maybe it's one that's attached to the wall, or you've got a pedestal sink that you're kind of getting tired of and you just want to change it, you maybe want a little storage, sink skirts are the way to roll. Mm-hmm. And I found another company on Etsy. I was looking for a client because we're doing a new bathroom and it's a very narrow space and we're going to do a wall-mounted sink, so it's just kind of be floating there, but her look is not modern, and that's kind of a modern look. So I said, how about we do some beautiful fabric and we skirt it, plus you get some storage for TP or whatever else you want to put under there. So sink, skirts, and more can be found at this Etsy shop, Sandalo El Sol, and the link will be in the show notes. They have beautiful things. It looks like they do great workmanship. I have not purchased one from there yet, but I'm going to as soon as my client picks out the fabric that she wants.
Well, that's so interesting. We actually have a sink in the study here, which was here when we got here, and it's actually a metal sink. And I was trying to figure out how to skirt that because you can see the piping underneath, and I don't want to see that, and the base is not attractive. I got some magnet strips and sewed them in fabric, and I'm afraid that if I gather it like a traditional sink skirt, it's going to get the magnet too far away from the sink and it's not going to stay on there, so I use the fabric flat. But I would love to come up with a way where I could actually gather that and make it a little fuller. That would be really pretty. But I love the idea of a skirted sink. I love those.
Hi, I'm Kristen Bell. And if you know my husband Dax, then you also know he loves shopping for a car. Selling a car? Not so much.
We're really doing this, huh?
Thankfully, Carvana makes it easy. Answer a few questions, put in your VIN or license, and done. We sold ours in minutes this morning, and they'll come pick it up and pay us this afternoon.
Bye-bye, truckie.
Of course, we kept the favorite.
Hello, other truckie.
Sell your car with Carvana today. Terms and conditions apply.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Okay, this is a pillow I think I have mentioned, but I hadn't received it yet. So it's not only this individual pillow, but it's this whole company. And also because we have gotten a couple of questions about what the heck is a Suzanne anyway? I believe those came through on Spotify. So I did reply, but if anybody is not checking the reply comments on Spotify and that was your question, you're going to have it answered today, or you can go look and you'll get a good sense. So go to Saint Frank. It's a company that does primarily textiles. They do have some decor pieces. It's a woman-owned company. They make efforts to work with women in foreign countries, and they pay them fair wages. It's all good purchasing from St. Frank. And I got the Black Daisy Suzanne pillow. So it's not a vintage Suzanne, but it is a pattern that is reminiscent of what a Suzanne would look like. And they have so many beautiful patterns and bright colors. They have pillows, they have drapes and accessories, as I mentioned. And what I love about their pillows is that you can get them in so many different sizes. It's just not your standard 18, 20, 22-inch square. You can get a 16 by 48. This type of pillow with this really rich, beautiful patterning would be gorgeous across a bed, and especially if you are a person or you live with a person who doesn't like a lot of pillows on their bed to take on and off. One long pillow is a great way to go because it just makes such a big, simple statement. So check out St. Frank. The quality is top notch. When I was going back to get the link to talk to you guys about it today, so I can include it in the show notes, I found that my pillow is now $40 less than when I bought it. They're having a sale. So I don't know if it's, just at this time of year or whatnot. But when you're listening to this, then maybe they'll even have a better sale. So definitely check out St. Frank. And if you want to see the one that I got for our TV couples lounge, it's the Black Daisy Suzanne.
There's several of these that are my crushes, that it's kind of a group of items, and that's definitely what this is. Caspari, that company's been around for a long time, and I've been familiar with them, but I've been seeing so many of their things lately that are just gorgeous, and I've seen them so many places that, really, they make so many pretty things. So I'm going to mention two specific things, but they have beautiful plate chargers. They have beautiful napkins. Anything that goes on your table, they're going to make it. Really pretty paper napkins are usually Caspari. They have some beautiful green, kind of a mint almost, colored rattan plate chargers that are just beautiful. They come in scalloped and just plain circular chargers that are just stunningly beautiful. So I saw those, fell in love with those at the store. And another item I found that I just loved is the Caspari White Artichoke Tulipaire. And we talked about tulipairs not that long ago. And that's just beautiful, and I'll link to both of those.
Oh, gorgeous. Because I just think of them and paper products. I think of them with the guest towel that you might want to buy in paper and put in your powder room when you're having people over. But you're saying they make things that are actually not made out of paper or paper product, right?
Correct. They have a lot of other items. Mostly for your table, but that's right. I thought of them as paper napkins as well, but they have so much more.
This is something that we mention now and again about changing your lampshades. And Anita already spoke about Pookie. So here's a set of two black, they're not really silk, but silk looking drum shades with the gold interior. They're gorgeous. They are going to give off this beautiful light even without incandescent bulbs. And they're really inexpensive. The pair of them are $25. And they will come to you not as a fully formed shade. They will come rolled. Do not despair. Mm-hmm. It's very easy. Just make sure your hands are clean and dry. You roll them out. The wire goes in there. And the first time I got one like that, I was like, what is this thing? But it's a really ingenious way to ship a shade, because when you ship a shade, I'm glad I didn't have to say that twice. When you ship a shade, it has to come in a gigantic box. So this way they can really save on the shipping, which is terrific. So these are great. And if you have been waiting to change out your shades, and if you like the idea of a black with gold inside, which I do, this is the answer to your prayers.
That's interesting you say that, because I also bought some shades on Amazon for a very reasonable price, and I found the same thing. It came with the fabric rolled up, and then it has those metal clips basically that bend around the top circular wire piece and the bottom one, and they worked beautifully and they look very nice. So you would never know that if you weren't the one that put them together. So I think that's a great way to save money, because the shipping is so much cheaper. So I think that's a wonderful way to save money. My next item, again, it's a grouping of items, and that is things made from rattan. In fact, didn't we have a whole episode on rattan things? Mm-hmm. Right. So this is continuing that theme, but I am just in love with all of these things. Rattan trays, I found some beautiful ones. I found one for less than $30, and I'm going to include a link to that one. And this rattan bar cart I'm going to include. I didn't buy it. I was going to. Then it was sold out, and I think it's back in stock. Really stunningly beautiful. It's on wheels, and I think it would be so beautiful in about any space. And I also caved and bought this rattan scalloped side table, and I'm sitting right next to it, and it is just beautiful.
Okay, I'm taking you out into the garden right now. Dandelion inspired solar lights, pack of 2 in warm white. So the way I would use these is I would tuck them into a container. And so I do not want to see the spike. I would just nestle them in there. And when I say dandelion inspired, you could also think sparkler. So it's rounded, but loose and open, and it has very small little solar light bulbs, and then it's going to have a little solar panel, but you're going to tuck that into the container as well. It doesn't have to be fully exposed, but obviously you want that to be on the sunny side, or you don't want a big leaf in front of it, because that's how you're going to light up these gorgeous lights at night. They are lovely. They're whimsical but tasteful. I wouldn't put hundreds of them or even like run a path of them. That would be way too much. But say you had 2 planters flanking something, that it would be lovely on either side. And it's just going to give you this kind of muted in a sense, because solar is not quite as powerful as a hardwired outdoor light. So somewhat muted, and because they're small and because they're going to kind of nestle in with your plants, absolutely beautiful. Just a little touch, just a little something to light up a corner, or as I said, flanking a staircase or a doorway, if the doorway is getting some sun, would be gorgeous. And they're so reasonable. The pack of 2 is $18.
Oh, wow. That sounds wonderful. Jaliska is another brand that I've been following, and I just love their items. They are not inexpensive, but they're very well made, and they are going to elevate your room. And they sell mostly things for the table, just like Kaspari, but they do more high-end plates, forks, knives, spoons, glasses, bowls, that sort of thing. The first item that they make that I love is their green glass candlestick holder. These are mouth blown. They're full of charming bubbles in the glass. They also make a really pretty melamine plate in a bamboo pattern. But again, they're not cheap. I think it's about $24 a plate. But these would be beautiful on your summer table. They also have some wonderful blue and white plates. And so it's kind of a chinoiserie thing going on. It's a landscape. But if you've looked at blue and white plates, especially the blue willow pattern, these are very different. They look hand painted. They look very unique. They look very high end. So you're going to love those as well.
The New Romantic Garden by Joe Thompson. So it's kind of garden kind of book. It is beautiful. Joe Thompson is a very well-known British garden designer. She has designed Chelsea gardens for many years. She's won medals at Chelsea. She was in this year's Chelsea doing the glass house garden, which has a really interesting concept. If anybody is a Chelsea enthusiast out there, I'm sure you've heard about this year's show. And if you haven't, check it out. I mean, easy enough to Google. And Joe Thompson's garden was really stunning. But her book is something else. I might have mentioned that I wanted it for Mother's Day, and wow. Ask and you shall receive.
Nice.
Text the link and you're even got a better chance of getting it.
That works too.
So I've been enjoying it. I would sit down and just do a garden. So there was maybe, 6 to 10 gardens in there. I can't remember the number, but it's gardens that she has worked on, all different sizes. The through line is that they're so romantic, and she's such a rose lover. There are roses dripping over every garden. Absolutely stunning. So the link to that will be in the show notes as well.
My last group of items are things with a William Morris print on it. And recently they took those old William Morris prints and updated them with fresh new colors. So when you see them, it doesn't look like it's some pattern from 100 years ago. It looks very much something meant for today. And you can buy bedding, artwork, trays, napkins, plates, shower curtains, so much stuff that you can buy with these prints on them. And I actually have a William Morris shower curtain, and it's really one of the prettiest ones in my house. I also have the plates that Spode made when they partnered with William Morris. Those are beautiful. I found a set of 3 16 by 24 prints for just a little bit over $100 that I think you'll love.
So with William Morris, super interesting man. On my list is to read his biography, because I just think his approach to art and nature and his involvement with the transcendentalists, super interesting to me. And, he is an avid gardener, so we have that in common. So that's on my list. Maybe someday that'll be a crush one after I've read the book. But you should understand, you can get William Morris in so many different places. Spoonflower, I'm sure Amazon,
Yes.
There are certain of the patterns, like Strawberry Thief. that's everywhere. And now Anita's saying people are even making it in different color waves. So, that's great. And it's wonderful because it's beautiful and the patterns are so enduring and classic. But then there's Morris & Co., which is it's his company that he started in the way back when. And it has definitely brought itself into present time. They have updated some of the patterns. They've added things. They just don't have the original collection. And they have beautiful, beautiful wallpapers. A lot of it is the original, but inspired by and created other patterns. Hard to get samples even here because it's hard to get the samples from the UK. They don't really do that. But there's a few of the patterns that are offered by Home Depot, which is so weird, of the wallpaper. So that's a little insider tip. The Blackthorn is one of the patterns that you can get at Home Depot, and it's really nice quality paper. I love Jack Rogers sandals.
Oh, me too.
They're so iconic. Jackie O wore them. They're gorgeous. Such a classic. It goes with everything. You could wear it, with a really, really fancy dress. You could wear it with a pair of jeans. I just got a new style, crocheted. So it's that same Jack Rogers front, the sort of the medallion and whatnot. And it's like the toe thong, but it's crocheted. They have a variety of colors. I got the navy. Gorgeous. So I noticed this morning when I went to pull up the link for you guys, they're also on sale. So to have a look there. If you like a sarong when you're at the beach or the pool, which I love to have that, easy to slip on and off, 100% cotton block print sarong. It's a black and white floral with a black and white striped banding around the edge. So when you tie it, it kind of looks like, that the stripes are kind of on the short end vertical. Looks really nice, very flattering. And the link will be in the show notes, under $20. And this sun hat, which I've been wearing since it arrived, it was a wire cutter choice for best sun hat protection. And it's really stylish. Some really good sun hats are not so good looking, right? So this is a wrap visor, and it's in this sort of woven textury material. I got it in black, no surprise. But I love a visor because it really doesn't squish down your hair. So that one is available. I think that was like maybe $19 or $20. That is a great thing to have. You can also roll it up, so it's easy to pack. And then everybody probably knows Madewell. I love Madewell. Great, great quality. They're selling on Amazon now, just a few of their items. And I have been looking for the perfect V-neck tank. They're hard to find that really look good. These are gorgeous. It's the North Side tank, comes in a variety of colors, and also under $20. So that's just a few little items if you want to add to your summer wardrobe, sort of spruce it up a little bit.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
So much fun. So let us know if you liked this format. We love doing our crushes. And I don't know about you, Anita, but I keep a whole list of crushes by my desk. And so when we're recording, I just pull the next one. But I've got so many, I could just keep going. So I think it would be fun to do this seasonally. This one definitely had a summer vibe to it. So maybe the next one we'll do in the fall, maybe in October or something like that. Because we used to do fall finds and things like that.
True.
Right. And everybody really liked that. But that was really solely decor. So we could keep it to decor.
Okay.
But
that's a good point.
We could also branch out. So let us know what you all think. You could email us or you can include it in a really nice review if you are so inclined. Probably not going to do a crush today because that's pretty redundant, right? So let's do our defines.
Okay, DTT defines the microwave oven. A microwave oven cooks food using microwaves. But what are microwaves? They are waves that are 12 centimeters long, and that is considered a microwave. So microwave ovens have a microwave generator called a magnetron in them. And when you start cooking, it takes the electricity from the power outlet and converts it to a high-powered wave that is considered this microwave, the 12 centimeter long microwave. And when it reaches the food, it actually penetrates and goes to the molecules, causing them to vibrate. And the more they vibrate, the hotter the food becomes. So that's how the microwave works. And that's what a microwave is. But where did it come from? Because to me, that's the more interesting piece of information. So it was discovered during World War II when engineer Percy Spencer, who was working with active radar equipment at Raytheon, noticed a chocolate bar melting in his pocket. Now, let's just stop right there. If the microwaves were melting chocolate in his pocket, what were they doing to his body? That's something to think about. He decided to do some of his own testing, and he used directed microwave energy at popcorn kernels and created the first microwave popcorn. So they developed something called a radar range in 1947. It was almost 6 feet tall and weighed 750 pounds. I kid you not, it cost about $55,000 in today's dollars. It was originally only used in commercial environments like restaurants and railroad cars. No kidding, who's going to pay that kind of money? So the countertop versions became available for home use in the late 1960s, and widespread use of microwave ovens began in the 70s when the prices fell below $500. So now you know.
Very interesting. When you first said DTT is defining microwave oven, I was like, wait a second, I don't know. But yeah.
You're like, excuse me?
I'm like, okay, Anita. Well, you must have run out of words. But that is fascinating.
Okay, glad you enjoyed it.
No, I love to know the backstory and the why. I always want to know the why and the how, I guess. So, but I never even thought about figuring that out or looking it up. So thank you for doing that for us. Very interesting. I don't know how I'm going to work that into my next conversation, but
you'll find a way.
Okay. Is that a chocolate bar in your pocket or?
Hold on.
Okay. Stop
my
it
headphones
now.
are coming off.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time, fabulous, fun, wow, even better than I had hoped or expected. These are just a few of the words used to describe a DTT design consult. We've been doing consults for many years, and boy, are we good at it. And people are loving the results of the advice and suggestions that we make for them. It's so easy to schedule a consult with us. Just simply go to our website, decoratingtipsandtricks.com, and click consult. There you'll be led through the very simple process. And sooner than later, you, I, and Anita will be discussing your home in detail. So sign up for a consult today. Let us help you design and decorate the home that you want and deserve. Looking forward to talking to you soon.